This assessment I'm going to show you is to assess the adductor complex. If we have a client who, when they squat, their knees adduct inwards, we can use this to help understand, are the adductors tight, or is there just weakness maybe in the hip stabilizers, maybe the abductors, so glute medius, for example. So what we're going to do is we're going to stabilize Chris's pelvis here. So I'm actually going to assess this leg to start with. The full range of motion I'm looking for should be 45 degrees range of motion. A couple of key points is the pelvis shouldn't roll, his back shouldn't arch, and I'm also looking for lateral flexion of the spine, so when his pelvis here starts to lift up. The foot position must also stay vertical throughout the entire movement. So I'm going to kneel into here, palm of my hand goes onto the prominence at the front of his pelvis, ASIS. Okay, so that's on top of ASIS here. That's going to stop the pelvis from rotating. And now all I've got to do is just eyeball the belt line here and look for the first point of compensation. The foot must stay up rather than letting it turn outwards. So just turn it out for me, Chris. So we need to avoid that foot position here. So I can actually use my hand to stabilize the side of his foot. Okay, hold the pelvis nice and firmly. We're looking to get the leg out until we see the first compensation. And what you'll see is, certainly through about this position here, I see the belt line here starting to move, indicating that ASIS underneath it is starting to move in. You can have your client remove the sort of t-shirt, but as long as you can eyeball a reference point and see movement, then we can do this test effectively. So at this point here, the pelvis here starts to flicker. It's shown that there's a little bit of movement in the spine trying to occur. I just come away from that position and then see what range of motion I have in the hip. So relevant to his middle on the body, I have about 45 degrees range of motion. Full range of motion is 45 degrees. Now if Chris had a squat movement where he did adduct inwards, I could use this to screen out and actually be saying with Chris, you know what, the adductors are actually fine. I'm suspecting in this case, maybe it's either more tightness in glute medius, weakness in glute medius, or maybe he just has a poor squat technique which we can quite easily correct by giving coaching points. So that's our assessment for the adductor complex.